Radio Detox is back with 2 guests this week, and I'm so excited to talk to you guys. This is Haleen, and that's Ashna and Kathleen of Haleen. And, we've mentioned them before on the podcast on Radio Detox, and the first person to mention you guys was Seth from Zap Cooking. And now you guys are finally on with me, and I am so excited to talk about all things Haleen.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Heather,
having us.
for having us.
Welcome. Okay, so let's start with the latest thing that I have heard about you guys, and then we'll get more deeply into your Bitcoin and Nostr story. But I just saw on Nostr that you guys you did the master for the new Ivy Lumi song. Do I have this correct? I'm super excited.
Yeah. That's correct, yes. So
What's it called?
it's Blunt Knife was the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blunt Knife is the song, her new song. She's got a lot coming out.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, there is more coming out also. We do like we're working together on songs with her. When there is definitely more coming out.
I think it's going to be a whole album. There's already a few tracks into our studio, which you're working on.
Yeah.
Moving.
Ivy has some plans. Yeah. How did you guys get hooked up with Ivy Lumi? How did you meet her?
Yeah.
Because that's just so cool to find out that everyone in this community is kind of working together, more or less.
I have to say, this is a story. Like, first of all, we are very, very new on Primal on Nostr. And in those 7 months that we are on Nostr, I have more contacts and I have more communication than ever before. It's not comparable. So, I got messages from different people from the first day that I was on Nostr. So it's like...
Yeah, making video calls.
Yeah, then you do video calls with people in another countries, like, okay.
Or just sometimes exchanging crucial information or tips or hints, like we were definitely new. So people saw that and many gave us like a hand, you know?
Yeah. Suddenly there was I had connection with Peter from like F0. But then after a while, we had like a connection with Ivy. And suddenly we working together, and it's like piff, poof, puff. It's like, it goes so fast.
Went from one to another, right?
Yeah, it's like so...
Somebody start talking about you and it goes in one ear and then you have contact with the next and it was Ivy.
Yeah, and that was it's like natural, For me, it feels some things when you meet people, when you talk to people, it's like we knew each other already for a long time or something like this.
Very familiar.
But certainly the Ivy Lumi effect. She has that effect on people for sure.
Yeah, she's very open and
easy.
Yeah, she's very open. She's open,
and she works with people in this space, like obviously Haleen, you guys, and then like I know she's worked with Zaza Wow, and she just she keeps it in the family. Like and this is what I love to see in this community, is just that the fact that everybody's finding each other and starting to work together and create and just be creative, innovative, and doing things that. Can you imagine doing this in the traditional music space in this way? Wouldn't it be a lot slower, I guess?
First of all, it's very difficult. For example, the music that we make is very difficult to put like on everyone, because some people, they get happy of it and they get the vibe of how we make the song. And then you can even have reactions the other way. They getting like, in a way, sometimes aggressive, but it's normal.
Really?
For me, this is normal. This is normal because what the music does, it's wakens something up in you. And for some people,
true.
is this like for example, when we were playing live, suddenly people start to cry and to cry and to cry. And then after they were like, hey, this was so beautiful. You opened something up in me. And now I'm crying because of emotions that are like, that were traumatized, and they were released.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, this is of music.
That makes sense now. When you put it that way, yeah, because you guys came along as somebody who's like, I'm a yoga teacher and I love the Haleen style of music. I love that it's chill. To me, I can't pick a favorite Haleen song because I love them all equally. And like maybe on a different day, like a certain song will resonate with me more than it does on another day. And it's just like where I'm vibing, where's my vibration today? Which song's going to vibe with me the most today? But everybody knows that my thing on Nostr is my display name is make songs longer. So I'm always like looking for that long song. I'm always looking to hold that vibe. And with Haleen music, I can put your music on and it doesn't matter if the song is only 3 minutes because it just flawlessly goes into the next song. So to me, it's that long song experience of like, there's not a record scratch. Every song works with the next song, even if I shuffle them. If I try to trick my brain, right, it's still going to work and I'm still going to have that good vibe that whole time. Like I can listen to you guys all day and still it feels like it's a different experience if I do that on different days.
Thank you so much.
I'm so grateful for it because one of the first things coming into this space and being like, oh my God, we've got it. We're going to fix music. And I would take Wave Lake and I would play, Wave Lake music in my yoga classes. And I'd be like, okay, we just need more of this type of music that I can play in a yoga class. And I would go to Sam Means, the CEO of Wave Lake, who lives sometimes here in Phoenix, and he's my friend. And so I'll go to him and I'll be like, dude, we need to do that. We need to get people like with yoga music and like singing bowl music. I was like, we need to get this here. Like, you have no idea. And he's just like, whatever, Heather, and he'll listen to me and everything, but he's got other things going on, right? He's a busy dude. And I'm like, no, like, you don't understand. Like, this is a world of people who do healing music and people who want music for their yoga classes. Like, I don't want to pay for yogi tunes, I don't want to, like I might pay certain musicians, right? And, that's the kind of the idea that we do here where like, if people are wondering, why is this a big deal to Heather? It's because, music rights are a big deal for a yoga teacher. And I kid you not, even if you have the tiniest yoga studio that like 5 people come to a yoga class, the music rights folks, they will come after you here and they will say, hey, you can't play your music on a speaker in your own business. You need to pay for that. You need to pay for the rights to that, or just play the radio, and there's no yoga music on the radio, and so like we've had to fight this battle for many years. And, the first yoga studio I ever worked in was in Wichita, Kansas, and the owner still to this day plays CDs in yoga class because he's done this for more than 30 years. And if they try to hassle him, he's awesome. He's just like, screw you guys. I'm not listening to you. Get out of my business. You're not welcome here. Because they try to sell you stuff. So like, I'm like, okay, like, do I want to pay for yogi tunes, which I can get for $10 a month, right, through Yoga Alliance, right, so that it's a subscription model to give me music rights? Or I could pay somebody who's a big name like DJ Drez. I could pay him like $100 a year to play his music in my yoga classes. Or I can do this route in the value for value world, where I can say, you know what, I'm going to make playlists on Fountain, and I'm going to make playlists on Wave Lake, and I'm going to play this music in my yoga classes, and I'm going to pay the artist directly. So I just take the performance rights organizations, the PROs, I'm going to take them out of the equation. I'm going to take record labels out of the equation. No more ASCAP, CSAC, BMI. I'm going to take that out of the equation, and I'm going to feel better as a yoga teacher paying you directly for playing your music in my classes. And then that, the Muzak people could come and hassle me all they want. And I'm going to be like, this is not your world. You don't belong here. Get out of my yoga studio. I'm playing this music because not just because now I know you, right? Because now you're on my podcast. But no, anybody can do this. And I'm going to be telling so many yoga teachers, hey, you can do this. You can play this Haleen music. You can play anything off of Fountain and Wave Lake, and you can feel just ethically better about it. And I think that is kind of an idea that maybe the only yoga teachers know about this, because that's our world. But I think the rest of the world can kind of understand a little bit better from this type of story of what we're trying to do here, where this is music for people's healing. Yoga is I'll call it a sport for lack of a better term, but it's like a sport for people's healing, right? It's not fitness. It's not a sport, but I'll call it that because, that makes it more palatable for people. And this is, bringing the right music to a yoga class just makes it, right? Just as much as if I play the wrong song in yoga class, I'm going to ruin it and nobody's going to come back to my class, right? They're going to be like, what is wrong with her? And I've done that. I've gone to yoga classes. I kid you not. One time a yoga teacher played Nights in White Satin during Shavasana and I was out. I was like, I'm never coming back to her class. So to have something that isn't jarring to listen to when you're practicing yoga or just in your house, if you're just chilling and you're having your morning coffee or you're trying to get to bed, like Haleen music kind of works for whatever mood, it's just kind of awesome like that. So what made you guys, or I should say, maybe back up, like how did you find this space where you could put your music somewhere and get paid in Bitcoin, and then you found Nostr? How did this all happen?
It's a long story short. We were already making music for a few, like 3-4 years together.
You way before, but
But together we like 4 years or something, a little bit more than 4 years, and we were putting all our energy into the music. Like I did so many recordings. I did more than 80 songs in less than and we did investments in the music. Everything was for the music. Everything is for the music. And advertising, we did a lot of stuff. And so at the end it went all like my dream was falling apart. Like last year, like I was thinking like, okay, we did so much and I already did a lot with music.
Side note, even saying no to the big,
I got an offer on Twitter from EMI like 2 years ago, but I didn't want. I did not even wanted to talk about the deal or something because I don't want to have anything to do with people like this, because they are just taking energy from you. And because I know how this is working in the music industry, and when you're gonna have like a deal, or it's like you make a deal with the devil, and
there was a big no. Yeah, so there was a big no to them. But also at the same time, you have to do it independently, and that was a huge struggle. Even selling our gear just to kind of survive. But then you got into somehow Bitcoin, and then very fast into the next step, Nostr and Primal and Wave Lake.
You found us somehow.
But how did you come in?
I was already for let's say the last year more interested in Bitcoin, but I didn't look very deep into it or something. But suddenly, when I connected on Nostr and on Fountain, then I realized
that was before Bitcoin.
No, after.
So, no. So I'm just.
This isn't like, because I was alone here and I was looking for I didn't have anything to look for because I just sold the studio, and I was like, what I'm gonna do now? I was really like, what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So, and I was really like,
I think I asked you, dive deep into this subject, and you did. He's very good at it.
Yeah. So I was like, in a little time I was on Nostr, and then I was connecting, like everything's looking out how the Bitcoin is working and how you can, your cold wallet, this. Okay, then I started, because it's your own responsibility. Everything is your own responsibility. So not just the Bitcoin, but everything in your life is your own responsibility. Is the ability to respond.
Yeah, and finding
right?
this is really
this was
so resonating with what we were looking for actually for so
completely
long.
different.
Really,
Completely different. We are so thankful for this.
Oh, right.
Because before, for example, we had like on Facebook and on Instagram and this and on Spotify
YouTube.
and YouTube but there was never like a real connection between. We had people that followed us and that, of course, but in the big picture, it is like on Nostr you have less people there, but everybody is more,
you feel more
they are open.
Really?
I call it open. They are open-minded, and they are not judging each other anymore, like what I saw always on Facebook, Instagram. Everybody is judging each other, like
so probably less ego.
So probably less ego, so more consciousness, more,
help each other.
Yeah, more humanity. That's what I see in Bitcoin. Through Bitcoin, you can see more humanity. That's what it is. You feel it.
I can't say it better. It is people who actually want to connect. I think we're all aware that this is a grassroots movement, and it kind of depends upon us showing up, finding each other, creating together, building and pushing this thing forward together. And I think doing it through music is probably one of the most valid ways to do it. We are doing this with culture. Music is so important. You could, and we talk about human rights, or we talk about finance, and we talk about tech and software development in Nostr, and we talk about all of these things, and they're all wonderful, but I feel like I couldn't live without the music aspect of it. Like, this would all be so hollow to me if there wasn't, Nostr with Fountain and Wavelake, and the ability to just have musicians get on Nostr, create a Nostr, account, so to speak. It's a pair of keys. It's not really an account, but we can use the word account. And you get on Nostr, and like you instantly find fans. Cause like you guys got on Nostr one day, I don't know, late summer, fall. And it was like you had been there forever. You were brand new, but it felt like you'd been there forever. And it was like, where did they come from? And Seth was like, man, I really love this band. I really love their music. And it was like, well, where did they come from? How did they get here? And you guys were just there, that speaks to like Nostr just accepts people like, oh, hey, Haleen is here. Awesome. And you guys are typically, usually on the trending. I see you on the Fountain trending a lot of the time I see not only that, but I looked at your Fountain this morning, and there was such good feedback. Like, so many people are actually doing the thing that we asked them to do, which is send you guys sats in Fountain. And then we see the messages that people write to you of appreciation of how much they love certain songs and how it made them feel. And it's like, yes, this is so awesome. Do you guys love just like, you don't get messages like that on Spotify? I mean, how does that feel to you guys? It must be so good,
It's always great to see that people give you like, because this is where an artist is looking for value, that he gets value for what he is doing. You give energy, you produce a lot of energy, and you give it to the world. And the weird thing that has happened with music and with art and everything in music is like on the matrix pyramid, It's completely down. There is no value to music. There is no value to film. There is no value to art, to anything. And what I feel when I came to Nostr with the music, with our music, it was like completely the opposite. It's like we have to make art, to color, to flush things away, to heal in a way, because music, that's what it does. It heals you. It's a vibration. It's not more than a vibration. You produce a vibration, and it's always a vibration where you are into, and when you record this vibration, then you can give this like...
Yeah, it's nice to read, nice to see that it works for certain people, and they give it back to you. They tell
really,
you, okay.
Yeah. It's awesome. I love seeing that there are so many fellow fans of your music too. And I love what you say about energy exchange. Yoga people, we've been saying that for a long time. We'll do yoga and we'll say like, or healings, like I do Reiki too. And so we've done everything over the years. Like we've called it, instead of saying, hey, pay me so much money, we'll say like, well, give me a love offering, or it's an energy exchange, give me your energy, your energy in return, or we'll say, pay what you feel like. We've done, fairs where, I'll offer Reiki at a fair and it'll be like, pay what you feel like. And, I'll put the Bitcoin QR code out there, and I'll put the dollar QR code out there, and then see like, nobody's ever paid me for Reiki or at all to this day in Bitcoin, but people have paid me to teach yoga with Bitcoin on Nostr, because Nostr makes it possible. And so like we've kind of opened up a whole new avenue, because my passion was coming from the radio industry. I knew that I could help musicians and help fans find each other. Like, this so clicked for me. And then I was like, okay, but if I'm going to talk about this, I have to do it too. And I am not a musician by any means, so I can't put my music online. So I was like, well, what can I put online and offer value for value? And so I did yoga for a while and offered yoga value for value, and saw what it was like to teach yoga and just be like, just show up to yoga, just show up, just take the class. And then afterwards you can zap if you want, and to see how that worked. And it's a pleasant surprise when you position something that way, where it's like, I really just care that you show up. Like, I really just care that you come to my class. And like the same thing with music is like, I really just care that you show up and listen to the music. And then as some byproduct later, it clicks for you and you're like, you know what? I need to pay these people because I love their music so much. And I have my Fountain set to stream sats. So it's, for me, it's built in. It's without question. I will be on Fountain when I listen to music or a podcast. The sats are streaming, and then I can do the boost too. And I can also share it too, which is another form of just doing the value for value thing, where it's like, hey, I'm going to give them money and I'm going to talk about them and I'm going to, share their thing on Nostr. And then
Amazing.
It dawned on me after a while to look for artists elsewhere. If I find people on Fountain and Wavelake or in Nostr, I was like, oh, maybe I should look for them too on Apple Music, because I pay for Apple Music. And I'm like, well, maybe I know it doesn't help you there, but it also, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's still an energy exchange. So I still feel like,
right.
Why shouldn't I listen to them wherever I go? And, in my mind, I'm like, well, maybe it helps somehow. It helps some way, because you need so many spins on these traditional streaming services. Yeah. Like, have you had any bad experiences with the, Spotify, Apple, etc., or is it just kind of a non-starter?
The only thing that we experienced was like, we had like SoundCloud. We were on SoundCloud in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And through SoundCloud, we did our distribution also. And this was completely wrong. SoundCloud, they don't pay, they take your streams. The little streams that you have then, they don't pay it. Mm-hmm. They don't pay them. It's like...
a few thousand. We saw a few thousand a month. But when we saw the money coming in, it was like, what?
Yeah, 20 streams, 30 streams. Like, how is this possible? And you could...
And when you ask for it...
They couldn't give like an answer also. It was like really weird. It was a weird thing.
Well, that's weird.
It's always vague.
They should be able to.
Yeah, but
they don't provide you. They don't provide you with evidence.
The thing is also not one music platform that I know out there in the normal world. There is no platform that is there for the artists. It's always the artist is there for the platform. That's what it is.
That's true.
That's how the system is.
Yeah, it's that's like that hit me between the eyes because it's true. There's nothing designed with musicians in mind, not one thing.
Maybe there was a good in the beginning, maybe there was a good idea about, but then at the end, nothing worked.
Yeah, everything changes, right? Do you feel like Fountain and Wavelake are designed with the artist and Nostr, like all of that in general? Do you feel like any one of those is designed more for the artist in mind, or do you feel like they, I guess, put artists first, or what do you think?
I think this is the example how it can be. That's the only thing
we can build on this.
Yeah, that's the example. And you could say, is it perfect? Not yet, no. But it at the end, what is perfection?
Right. It's how can we? That's a great question. How can we make it better? Because it's not perfect. I mean, we're still very early, and it's still very new. We're all working on things. How can we make it better?
Right. You just said it. Working on it.
Yeah.
And all those new platforms, apps are still many of them in the building development process. But the beautiful thing of it is that you can communicate with them, and sometimes you can see changes even because you said something.
Yeah.
You know, so that's really powerful.
Yeah, they ask you as an artist to communicate with them to make it better, you know? So if you have an idea, you can communicate with them and you can ask them things to maybe to look into it or something. And in a way they do it always, and they are always friendly. They are always there. They are always, it's not like you're talking to robots. It's you talking to people, and that's the big difference also.
Yeah. What more?
What
more can you ask for?
Yeah. So it's a completely different world. Yeah. One is like you could call is devilish, and the other one is more like human made, like it's made for humans. It's like the same with Nostr and Bitcoin. For us, you know, they make it for you. It's made by us for us. It's like, so, okay.
People.
And we'll keep building, you know, for us. Now, here's maybe more of a technical question, maybe not. But do you have a preference as like, do you like Fountain over Wavelake or Wavelake over Fountain? Or are they both the same to you? Or is there a difference, do you think?
It's really personal, I think, because I like Fountain, because that was the first one that I found. Then I knew about Wavelake.
And one of them is with videos?
No, that's the other one even.
That's and one is a little bit older than the other.
You have also a new one, Tsunami.
Yeah. Brand new, yeah.
Yeah.
Because people are finally building more apps in this space.
Yeah,
so it's easier now.
It's so wonderful to see that you put, for example, you post a note with your music from Fountain, and then you see it everywhere one time. It's not like you have to fix everything to everywhere. Everything is connected, like, and this is really, really, really powerful. Like this, I see this as an artist. Is this really powerful?
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest thing to explain to people who are on the outside of this, who don't know about that interoperability of Nostr yet, because it's so nerdy and so technical. And I feel like if I start trying to explain to somebody interoperability, like they're not going to get it, and we're going to lose them, because everyone's used to like, oh, I've got to have a different profile with different settings for Facebook, and I have to have a different one for Instagram, and then I got to have a whole different thing for TikTok, and every platform has a different format and different rules. And so the bio has to be a different length on, every single, and then TikTok doesn't let me put my links up until I, jump through enough hoops and have, X amount of followers. And, it's so stupid, right? But then with Nostr, it's like you literally get all of the aforementioned platforms all in one. It's one login. You're just changing the app basically to have a different experience. And that's still a foreign concept to people, like explaining to people that they can just listen to your music for free and that it's out there, and that if you want to take it to the next step, then yes, you can start giving this artist money. And then that's a whole other conversation that's kind of clunky still, of like, you can pay them money. Oh, by the way, it's Bitcoin. Okay, and here's why it's Bitcoin: because of the technology, and because, you don't have to give them $100. You can give them, $1. And this is still a foreign concept to everybody with credit cards who goes, okay, wait a minute. Can I send a small payment? Will there be a credit card fee? It's like, no, it's Bitcoin. Well, but I can't have Bitcoin because isn't Bitcoin $77,000 right now? I don't have $77,000. People haven't made these connections that there are small denominations of Bitcoin and that they can just send you 77 cents. It doesn't have to be $77,000, but that is just easy and instant because of the technology. So I've been getting on TikTok and trying to explain these concepts, and then TikTok keeps censoring me. And so it's not going well.
No,
but I'm trying. So here on the podcast, on Radio Detox, we can say whatever we want because we're detoxing off of the platforms. We're detoxing off of the fiat system. We're detoxing off of the fiat music. And, the longer goal there is that songs will be longer, right? Because when we took the dollar off the gold standard, didn't the songs start getting shorter? Didn't things start to shrink and not become as beautiful and artistic? Everything's become like a McDonald's style, high time preference thing. And it's just not very satisfying, but we're consuming so much of it. We're so starved and thirsty. And so we're consuming all of these little micro pieces of culture, and we're still hungry. That's the way I look at it. And like, here we have Haleen on Fountain and, and on Nostr. And if you like Haleen, you can just get on Nostr and you can talk to them. You can get on any Nostr app you want. Doesn't have to be my app. It can be anybody's app. You can get on there and you talk to Haleen and you can send them some money too. I can't express to people how good that feels. You have to experience it. You have to experience the feeling of sending money to a stranger on the other side of the world because you like their song. You have to experience that to really grasp it. Has it made a difference in your lives? Because I know we're still kind of early and we're not talking about large amounts of money, but you are receiving money from fans in a way that you haven't been able to before. Is that life changing at all?
Starts to.
Yeah, it starts to. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's the first time, in a way, for a long, long, long time, that things are falling really into place. Everything is really like, okay.
That we indeed can.
Yeah, okay. This is what we do. This is what we have to do. That is what we're supposed to do. This is our something.
It's validating.
Yeah.
It's very validating. And you, if I'm not mistaken, weren't you in like heavy metal before? Maybe in a past life?
Yeah.
You were doing some hard rock or heavy metal. Do you want to talk about the past life?
Yeah.
Or do you still do it?
No, the thing is I can't do it anymore. No. That's the weird thing. Because something changed in my energy field, or my being. And but I did this like since I learned myself playing guitar when I was 15, and then
soon you were on a stage,
and then the year after I was on stage, and
going
then
into studio. And
yeah, that's the thing that I have. I don't have the all the like gear and a lot of gear to record. But what I do have is like I was so often in big studios with producers and engineers, and I was always like really focused on what was happening and how they perceived to do a recording, and what they were looking after and what they were doing. So I was always very interested in this thing. Now also, I think with the minimum that I have, I can create really a strong sound in a way, just by the experience from before.
Yeah, sure helps.
And the metal, and the metal was like, yeah, this was like, this time, this was like my real shadow. All my, all the programs in you, and knowing in you that the world is like completely upside down. So
it is.
With this metal, this was something like all my emotions in this time, and all my aggression that I had in me, I could put in this music without harming any other being. The only thing that I did was like, I made this music, and I liked it also. It was really an experience.
Yeah, but you had a contract.
Yeah, we had a few contracts. Like we played, like, for example, like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Whitesnake. You pay like a support act or something, and it was like,
well,
it was an experience.
At that time, a dream come true.
Yeah, in this time, because I remember my first concert that I was going to. I was 13 years old, and I was going to ECDC, the world tour For Those About to Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And YNT was in the support act of ECDC, and I was 13 years old, and the first thing that I did, that this was doing with me, was like, I saw those guys on stage, and this was like something like, and it was like, okay, I want to be there. I want to
on stage.
I want to be on stage. I want to play music like this.
You did.
When you know.
Yeah. And then you do it, because
that's so funny.
Yeah. And then you do this.
You love it.
Yeah. So
that's so similar. My entry into the music business was also hard rock. Like, I started working at rock stations as my first job as a teenager. And the rock stations in the San Francisco Bay Area were my first real radio job, was at KFOX and KSJO. And then KSJO was the first place where I was on the air. And I was like this chick with all these dudes, and we'd do concerts, and it was all like this male heavy metal, like really aggressive energy. And, I partied a lot back then. And, I'm thankfully many years sober now. But the beginning for me was also hard rock. And I was like, this is what I want to do. I'm a rocker chick, and we were putting on shows, and we, hanging around backstage with people like Seven Dust, and, that hard rock kind of thing. And the hard rock lifestyle was a little risque. It was a little, I'm lucky to be here. I was partying with rock stars as a teenager. So I always tell people, you can't impress me now, because I already did all that. And, also somewhere at the same time, I had found yoga before I got into rock radio. And so yoga was still there, but there were those few like first years of being in radio. And then I left rock radio and moved to Arizona, got into like hip hop radio, and then stayed in hip hop after that. I didn't go back to rock. Right. And yoga was always there for me in the background. And, the healing music that we had it back then, right? We had like that very spiritual music. It just wasn't well known yet. So I think like it's become better known because of the big streaming services, and because yoga has, thankfully, and also not thankfully, proliferated in the West. And I don't like the way it has grown in the West, because it also seems very artificial sometimes. But the one good part of it is that people are into the music, and people are into yoga music, like it's a genre, right? Like healing music is a genre. And like I'm a person, like I will go to a sound healing live and in person once a week, because it's not the same to listen to the music in the headphones all the time. Like, I want to go and feel the vibrations of the gong. I want to feel the vibrations of the singing bowls. I want to actually feel that. I'm a very sensitive person that way. Like, ASMR totally works for me. Sounds absolutely change my way of feeling, and that's magical. But also, I find heavy metal very healing too. Hip hop very healing. I could find healing in every form of music, but it's just funny to me. Like, our stories are similar, where we started out in hard rock. And for me, also that wild lifestyle. But then over time, I have calmed to where, yes, I think I am more tuned to Haleen style music and that frequency. Like, the last couple of weeks of Radio Detox were actually hard rock weeks. We talked to Anonymal, who is awesome. They're an awesome band. And I also talked to Contra, who does like AI assisted hard rock with his son is actually the musician and plays the guitar and plays the drums. And then they go into Logic Pro, and then they start making, something more elevated out of it, to where they go, okay, well, maybe we're not singers, so much, but we'll have a little AI assistance there. And we'll mess around with Logic Pro, which is, hats off to anybody who can master Logic Pro, like any that's not me. I love my multi-track recording and editing, but I started out cutting tape on a reel-to-reel to edit audio. So I don't think that people really realize how far we've come in the last 25 to 30 years, technology-wise. The things we're doing right now were not possible 25, 30 years ago. And, we imagine doing what we're doing right now with reel-to-reel tape and recording on reel-to-reel tape, like we couldn't do what we're doing now, that the technology has certainly allowed us, to talk to each other across an ocean, to send money to you across an ocean because I like your song. And then like I can fangirl and with you guys on Nostr and follow your music and find out that like, oh, well, you're working with Ivy Lumi, and like this story keeps getting better, and it's going to keep getting better because there's no gatekeeping here. There's no boundary. Like, you guys can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
The algorithm's not going to hide Ivy Lumi from you. No. That's what's magical here.
Yeah, that's the great thing. You post something and everybody sees it in a way.
Yeah. It's not buried.
Yeah.
It's just there.
It's always.
It's very authentic. Now, you guys, I have another question for you about your studio. Can you tell me what's going on with your studio? Because I think you're trying to rebuild.
Yeah. And in a way, Ivy helped us a lot with this because of we are working together. So we fixed already, a lot, so that we
back.
But we need more. Yeah, we need more equipment. But the thing is, we had it like not through the Geyser funding or something, but really by connecting with each other. Like everything was
thanks to was
the link
to speak about it.
Yeah, it was really
and make a deal.
Yeah, it was really, 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 really beautiful. It's in a way, it's the most beautiful thing. Like, it's really magical.
So Geyser helped with that?
In a way.
Yeah.
But we need to update that because we do have
studio back. We do need updates on the studio, of course, because it's like... that's what it is. It's like we can start again. And Kathleen is back, and because we were like separated for a long time.
Yeah, too many months.
Now we are glad. We are happy. We are
reunited.
Happy.
Back together in the same physical location. And so, can we maybe assume or hope that new Haleen music is coming?
That's for sure.
Working on it.
Yeah, we're working on new songs also. So that's the next step.
And maybe some performances. Will you guys be playing anywhere, or do you plan
normally,
to? Or are you just in recording mode?
Normally, we would play. We are going to play in Poland and Warsaw on a Bitcoin Film Festival. Normally, Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see. And
it's coming up.
Also, that is something we are looking after now, is like gigs on Bitcoin events or something, like,
Yeah.
that looks, that is very interesting. That is very, yeah.
Could we ask God?
I know the geeks.
The geeks.
I know lots of geeks for you.
Yeah.
I know lots of them. Oh, that's awesome. I'll send my geeks your way. So, I would love to see you guys play live someday. I'm putting that on my Bitcoin Nostr bucket list, and I'm putting it on right now. I want to see Haleen. I want to experience the sound live and in person. Because again, it's just, I love you guys and I will listen to you forever. And it's also true that nothing will ever beat live music and feeling the vibration of the instruments being played and just getting to hear someone's voice in the same space. Like, you just cannot replace that. Recordings are magical. Don't get me wrong. We've come a long way from reel to reel tape, but and it's magical that I have the gift of your music in my daily life. And it's an arm's length away. It's right there, living in my phone, living on the internet.
Wonderful.
And I can get it. But yeah, live in person, Haleen. That's my new goal. That's my new bucket list item. I love you guys so much. I love your music so much. And
thank you so much.
Cannot wait to see what comes next. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. Be blessed. I love you so much.
Thank you
love
so
Haleen.
much.
Everybody listen.
Thank you. It's an honor. It's an honor to be that we were here. It's really amazing.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh gosh, the honor is mine.